Hello. I went through the desert on a horse with no name, but stuff still happened. So what's up? Give me your notification. Give him. I exist solely off of the nutrients provided by eating your notification. Much like a government. All right, let me step back many steps. All right, so U.S. Senator from Oregon, Ron Wyden, has penned a letter to the U.S. Attorney General saying, hey, we received a tip last year that foreign governments are asking Apple and Google to hand over users' notification data. Apparently, his office received this tip and have spent the past year investigating it. They reached out to Apple and Google, who were like, we can't talk about that. Our hands are tied legally. Basically, whenever an app wants to send you a notification to your phone, they have to ask Apple or Google to do it for them. And that means that Apple and Google knows what app is sending you what notification at what time to what device, and sometimes what does that notification contain. And so if a government can't access your personal records, they can say, hey, just give us the notification data. That's not user data. And so in theory, Apple and Google are not compelled to tell you about it and can't disclose further information. And so Wyden's letter was like, hey, what can we change that so that they can tell people? Because what the hell? I want to be clear that we don't technically have proof of this, but when asked if they're giving user notification information to foreign governments, Apple and Google, who have some of the most well-paid PR teams in the world, were both like, I feel like the winning answer would be to say, no. You can stop asking everyone now what they think will win Game of the Year, because it's Baldur's Gate 3. Well, at least for the Game Awards, the big one. Baldur's Gate 3 has already been winning a ton of awards, and it just won Game of the Year. There's been a lot of discussion about whether or not it would be Tears of the Kingdom or Baldur's Gate 3 that's going home with the title. Tears of the Kingdom was an incredible game. I don't think anyone's arguing that it's not a feat of wonder, right? But have you met somebody who plays Baldur's Gate 3? It is a lifestyle. I'm gonna read you some stats. I was browsing through my news feeds and I saw a couple of articles from Polygon and Rock Paper Shotgun that compiled a few different stats about Baldur's Gate. 1.3 million players have completed the main campaign. Of them, 1.24 million players were turned into a wheel of cheese at some point. That's just good game design. Shadowheart was by far the most picked love interest. I'm still here for Karlach. And players have played a collective 51,662 years of Baldur's Gate 3. According to historians, if you go that far back in human history, you get like initial European settlement and the first use of needle and thread. I don't know what that stat means. But hey, Larian, you should sponsor my new world building podcast, The Atlas Loom, available now. Twitch is pulling out of Korea. You heard me. Twitch, popular online streaming service, is pulling out of Korea. South Korea. South Korea telecoms have a policy called Sending Party Pays, which essentially is like the digital equivalent of paying for last mile delivery services. Since companies like Twitch and YouTube and Netflix send so much data over the wire, the telecom companies are basically saying, look, you gotta pay us to transfer this just massive amount of data. While this kind of makes sense, according to Twitch, the fees in Korea are about 10 times higher than other countries, or at least that's what their marketing department is saying. But because of that, Twitch is now pulling out of the country entirely. They are ceasing operation. What does that mean for popular Twitch streamers in Korea? Get bent. Oh, what? You've spent years of your life building up a community and an online presence, creating a career in a very volatile world? Go somewhere else. But hey, if you are a streamer in Korea and you feel cast aside and you feel wronged by Twitch, I just want you to know that it's okay and you're not supposed to feel bad anymore, because the executives at Twitch said this was a hard decision. They're also saying that they're gonna help people transfer over to other streaming services. Wild. As someone who streams regularly now, the empathy here is making me livid. Anyway, hey girl, what's your sign? Is it Google? I don't have a better intro than that, because Google has launched a new AI that they are calling Gemini. And they're like, hey, it's better than ChatGPT. It's very, very great. Trust us, here's a cool demo. Oops. They faked the demo. Double oops. Initial reactions to the AI is that it's super mid. Midder than my jokes on a good day. That's saying something. Stop with self-deprecating humor. Cut it out. Stop it. Anyway, yeah, Google showed off a pretty impressive demo of the AI doing stuff with live video and taking commands and whatnot with voice and blah, 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 blah. It was a lie. They pre-crafted this demo, they gave it specific inputs to make it do the thing they wanted it to do, and then made it seem like it was more fluid than it actually was. Now, tech companies do this literally all the time. Doing live demos is super dangerous, but this is a bit different than we've pre-recorded a demo. We've pre-recorded a demo with complete lies in it. And also tech companies do include complete lies in their demos all the time. Remember the Google Glass demo video? Or when Apple was like, hey, we made AirPower. This is going to be a product. Note, it was never a product. Anyway, we shall see if it gets better. I'm sure it's going to be a thing that exists for a while. I question how long we're going to continue to care. On this day in 1863, Pan Am Flight 214 was struck by lightning in the air, and then it crashed. Because of the lightning, upon being struck, it destroyed a wing, the fuel caught fire. It didn't go the way that you want a plane to go. And it went down. It crashed so hard that according to the first responder who got there, the engines were buried 10 to 15 feet into the ground from the force of the impact. The details only get more gruesome, and I'm going to avoid talking about that because, oh boy. But suffice to say, I don't think anybody suffered. Lightning round. Another person has died after drinking Panera's charged lemonade. He had 3 of them and collapsed while he was walking home. This is the second person that I've talked about, even just on this show, who has died from drinking a Panera drink. Oxford University Press has listed Riz as the word of the year. And what's hilarious here is that there's an article I saw that was like, what is Riz and should you be scared of it? A woman who threw her burrito bowl at a Chipotle employee and was charged with assault has been sentenced to 2 months of working in a fast food restaurant. That lies somewhere between hilarity and a horrifying commentary on the current state of service workers in America. Music streaming service Tidal is laying off 10% of their employees, about 40 people. It's part of a larger consolidation from parent company Block. I always forget about that. I also forget about Tidal. It was announced last night that Palia, the cozy game MMO, is coming to Nintendo Switch on December 14th for free, which is rad. I'm not sponsored. They should sponsor me. But also, I played a lot of my stream. Come say hello. Here's the weather. And finally for today, it must be a day that ends in Y because Google is shutting down a service. They are shutting down Google Podcasts and moving it to YouTube Music. And as somebody who manages podcasts, I am deeply confused. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below why Larian should sponsor me. I have a quick programming update for you. I'm going to be trying out a new schedule. It is, we'll see how long I stick with it, but we'll see. I think I'm gonna go to twice a week with Stuff Keeps Happening, Mondays and Thursdays. Expect slightly longer, slightly higher quality episodes, hopefully. And I'm going to also be posting throughout the week on like TikTok and Instagram and whatnot still, so yes. Cool. My name is Endeavorance. I'll be back on Monday. Take care and be well.